Hello there, I'm Lucas, and hopefully you know that by now because I do this every week, and every week I say, I'm Lucas. So I hope you know. If you don't, then maybe you should watch some of my other videos when I say, I'm Lucas, again and again. I'm from Magoosh. This is TOEFL Tuesday, and today is going to be a great video because today we're going to do a little bit of listening practice. And every week we do talk about some strategies and advice for the TOEFL, but this week I'm going to show you some Magoosh listening material, some Magoosh TOEFL listening material. And this will give you an idea of what you will see on your actual TOEFL in the listening section. All right, so the listening practice. On the TOEFL, what you're going to see, or what you're going to hear first, is a recording that's just a couple of minutes long. And for this specific example, it's going to be a conversation. Now, on the TOEFL, there are lectures with one person speaking also, or there are conversations with two people speaking. There are also discussions in a classroom with one professor speaking and 2 or 3 students speaking. But this week we're going to talk about those conversations with 2 people talking. You're going to hear 2 students, or sorry, not 2 students, 1 student and 1 non-student having a conversation. That's always how the conversations are in the TOEFL listening section. You will hear a student and a professor, or a student and a librarian, or a student and an advisor, or maybe a student and a security officer. It doesn't matter, a student and some other person, some older person usually. So you're going to hear our example of that, and then afterward I'll talk a little bit about the questions you would be asked. So prepare and listen. Here we go. Listen to a conversation between a student and an administrator at the university's finance office.
Hi there. Can I help you?
I really hope you can. I'm worried I'm just really worried I'm going to be in trouble.
Oh? Well, don't panic. Just relax. I'm sure we can deal with whatever's going on. What's the issue?
Well, I've received 2 separate statements about my tuition payments in the last week, and they seem to... It looks like they kind of contradict each other.
Uh-huh.
I've been a student here for 2 years, and I've never gotten any notice like this before. The language seems a little threatening, and I'm afraid that if I don't figure this out, I'll be kicked out of classes or something.
I can assure you that nobody's going to kick you out of class. We'll sort it out. Now, did you bring the letters with you?
Yep, I have them right here. The first one is similar to the reminder I get every month to make a payment. But
Here, let me see.
it has some extra language out of the norm, there at the bottom. It says something about penalty payments.
All right. And did you miss any payments that you know of?
No, I've never missed one.
That's strange. And what about the second notice you received?
That one says it's the final warning to make a payment, or else my enrollment will be canceled. That doesn't make any sense because it's the first warning I ever got.
Okay, are you sure these are the only 2 notices you got in the mail from us?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, then, it certainly seems like there's been an error, because if the statement were accurate, you would have received additional notices from us. Let me just look up your account in our database and see what the problem is.
Thank you so much. I'm just a little stressed out that something will go wrong with my classes.
Oh, sure. Just a moment while I... Here we go. I think I found the problem. Did you make your last payment during a school holiday?
Sure, I think I did. I guess I made the payment during spring break. Is that a problem?
Well, you didn't do anything wrong, but it looks like there was an error in our system. The computer is supposed to automatically process payments when the offices are closed, but for some reason, your payment never went all the way through. It's still pending approval.
So why did I get only a final warning notice?
Well, I'm not completely sure, to be honest. We were coming back from a holiday, so there may have been some confusion.
Well then, what do I have to do to fix this?
Nothing at all. I'm approving the payment now and noting on your account that the error was ours. Just make your next payment on time and you won't have any more problems.
Wonderful. Thanks for taking care of this. That's a huge relief.
All right, so now that you've heard the conversation, what happens next? Well, you get questions. On your TOEFL, there would be 5 questions. And in TOEFL Magoosh, in Magoosh TOEFL, we have some questions on that same lecture, on that same conversation. But I'm not going to put them all here right now. The point is, you get 5 questions that ask about specific details from that conversation. The first question is usually a main idea or a main purpose question. It asks why the conversation happened. And then after that, you would get some specific questions about what exactly was in the conversation, what the student said, or what the other person in the conversation said. Again, you get 5 questions for a conversation like that, and each one is about a different part of the listening. You need to have good notes and a good memory, because you cannot listen again. You listen one time, only one time, and then after that you get the 5 questions. And then once those 5 questions are finished, you go to another recording, which you will listen to one time before you answer the 5 or 6 questions on that recording. If you want to do some more practice, come to TOEFL.magoosh.com, and we have some those questions on that same conversation for you to listen to and for you to answer. Again, this is TOEFL Tuesday. I'm Lucas, and if you're back next week, I'll provide some more advice for you on your TOEFL IBT. In the meantime, happy studying.